So for step 36, cutting out the chassis cover. Well, we're dealing with this piece right here, which is a piece of separately molded polycarbonate. It's clear, so we can see everything underneath inside the chassis. And you can see that we're going to need to cut this out. Well, I have some polycarbonate scissors, but we also need to mark this out so that we can see what we're doing, because it's really hard to see what is cut off and what's not. So I'll show you how to do that as well. So I'll set it up and let's cut this out. So first off, let's get this set up correctly so that we know what to cut. And what I find is the easiest way of doing this is grab your a Sharpie or something like that similar, and find the marking lines that they want you to cut this on. So if you look here, there is a line that circles around, and you can kind of see it's almost like a groove, so you know approximately where to do it. And you see it turns right there, down the side. Sometimes the plastic means that the pen doesn't want to work so well. But you can see there that we now run it along the bottom all the way to here. So you can see that that is the mark. So I'm going to put this on the ground here just so we can see this. There we go. And you can see the curve again. Because if you don't do this, it's really tough to see what you're trying to cut. But you can see I've got the mark now all the way along. So I'm going to finish doing this. We don't need to see the whole thing. You get the idea. But just follow the line along so that you've got something to cut. So there we have it all marked out. So I've got the pen going around the whole thing. So I have two types of scissors for polycarbonate. One is a curved, one is a straight. And for the purposes of what we're going to do here, we need to score it before we cut it out. And I have this tool here. It's made by Fiskars. I love it because we're dealing with a very sharp blade. And with this, I can either, well, usually I'll use it with my index finger. I can get a really good line on this, and you're not going to have to worry about your finger slipping. So if we do it this way, I can score this on the line that we just marked with the blade, or with the marker. And same thing on this side. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but you can see that it's already snapping a little bit here. So we just need to, and if I do it this way, I'm going to cut some of it now to where I scored it. Do the same thing, and you can kind of bend it back, and it's going to snap off. So you're going to get a line of, however you cut this, it's going to do a nice clean cut. Now, normally I would do that for bodies, etc. With this being a dust cover, I'm not as concerned in terms of, trying to make this perfect, but we will do a little bit more slicing here. And yeah. And then I can come into here and bend it back. So I'm going to end up doing this all the way around. But you can see it's done it. And of course, I have these other scissors which are curved, so I can clean it up a bit too if I want to, just so that I've got a nicer sort of a clean line. And even in here, as much as it's not perfect, I can go in with the blade and kind of curve it and kind of clean it up myself just by turning and sliding it across, which I'm fine with. So I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to score all of this, just like, and I mean, I guess I can show you one more time here. We're going to score. And this is fairly thin, so if I score it and go all the way across, I'll cut into here, cut into where we more or less stopped. I can bend this back, and you'll notice that it pretty much will come off with relative ease. A couple of spots maybe I didn't get the blade in there as well, and that's okay, because I will clean it up, and I can clean it up even with the blade here. And I'll go through it and just make sure that it's okay. But I'm going to go through all of this and then do this, basically do the same thing as what you've just seen me do all the way around. And that's the easiest way, I think, that you'll find to do this sort of work. So I'll finish this off and then we'll come back and we'll take a look. So there is the finished dust cover. And you can see some of my marks from the Sharpie where it slipped a little bit, but it's all been cut out. It's not perfect, and I'm not worried about it because it's just a dust cover, so I wasn't as meticulous about the cutting or anything. So it is ready to go, and that's all we have to do in this step. So next one is moving on to step 37, where we're going to attach the dust cover.